So I think something's seriously wrong with Trump. Now, apparently, the Wall Street Journal also agrees. Check this out. As signs of aging emerge, Trump responds with defiance. In an interview, the president says he has eschewed some advice from his doctors and regrets getting advanced imaging. So I guess the dude's ignoring the doctors here. We got to go over this one because I think this actually shows the story. Is Trump going to make it to 4 years? I don't think so, to be perfectly frank. I think they'll try to put it in advance before that. And let's see. Let's see what it says. Washington. President Trump is taking more aspirin than his doctors recommend. Can try to take more aspirin. I wonder why. He briefly tried wearing compression socks for his swelling ankles. Okay. But stopped because he didn't like them. He regrets undergoing advanced imaging because it generated scrutiny of his health. So you're knowing your doctors here, taking too much aspirin, you don't want to wear your socks. Man, what's going on with this dude? In retrospect, it's too bad I took it because it gave them a little ammunition. That's what Trump said. This interview with the Wall Street Journal, and that was his decision to get a cardiovascular and abdominal scan. Quote, I would have been a lot better off if they didn't, because the fact that I took it, oh gee, is something wrong? Well, nothing's wrong. I'm pretty sure something's wrong. This is Trump. He's 79, right? The oldest man to assume the presidency, so he's pretty old, and showing signs of aging in public and private. Wow, this is coming from the Wall Street Journal, guys. According to people close to him and people close to him, okay? The dude is clearly old, 79. Yet he has at times eschewed the advice of his doctors and scoffed at the medical community. And think of it this way. So, let's say you don't like Trump or you like Trump. So some people will be cheering that, because, man, definitely ignore the doctors, Trump. Just don't talk to doctors ever again. And the people on the other side, no, Trump, you really should go to the doctor. So I'd like to hear where you are on this. Do you want to go pro-doctor, anti-doctor when it comes to Trump? I want to hear your thoughts on that. But at least according to Trump, it says, yet he has eschewed the advice of his doctors and scoffed at the medical community's widely accepted health recommendations, relying instead on what he calls his, quote, good genetics. We'll see how that does for you. Trump and his doctors say he is in excellent health, and aides say he maintains a vigorous schedule. Yeah, that's what they say. Before the New York Times was reporting that the dude, sleeps in late, goes to bed early, rests on weekends, that kind of stuff, so barely works. What else we got? Trump gets little sleep and has recently struggled to keep his eyes open during several televised events in the West Wing. Aides, donors, and friends say they often have to speak loudly in meetings with the president because he strains to hear. Yeah, he's getting old. I mean, you know this. Aside from golf, Trump doesn't get regular exercise, and he is known to consume a diet heavy on salty and fatty foods such as hamburgers and French fries. I thought he liked KFC. I always thought that was his favorite. It might be McDonald's. I could be wrong. I always thought KFC was his favorite. So you guys can let me know, is it KFC or McDonald's is his favorite? It could be both, I guess, theoretically. But he says he's taking a bunch of aspirin now. Large dose of aspirin he chooses to take daily has caused him to bruise easily. Okay, he said, and he has been encouraged by his doctors to take a lower dose. But Trump has declined to switch because he has been taking it for 25 years. I'm a little superstitious. Yeah, I just, I'm not a doctor. I'll make it clear, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think taking tons of aspirin every day could be a good thing. So here's a quote from Trump. They say aspirin is good for thinning out the blood, and I don't want thick blood pouring through my heart. I want nice, thin blood pouring through my heart. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't actually, but that's from Trump. Trump denied that he struggles to hear. Okay. What was that? I mean, people around him are going to know, right? They're going to know. Anyone who's ever talked to someone hard of hearing, you know how it is. He also denied falling asleep at a recent White House event and said he has always gotten by on little sleep. But, he's the kind of dude that'll say, I have no memory of falling asleep. He'll say that. Trump has sometimes described his medical care inaccurately. He has for weeks said that he underwent an MRI at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in October. When asked about the procedure by the Journal, Trump and his doctor said he got a different form of imaging, a CT scan. Oh, right. Interesting. So they're saying that he got an MRI, but he calls it a CT. A CT scan is faster and more common way to capture detailed image of the body. The MRI is a slower test that is superior for soft tissues. It wasn't an MRI, Trump told the Journal. It was less than that. It was a scan. And there's going to be truth to this. I mean, there's going to be truth. Was it an MRI or CT? Like any of this stuff, there's going to be some truth in here. Okay, so Navy Captain Sean Barbabella, Trump's doctor, confirmed in a statement to Journal that Trump had received a CT scan. Okay. Barbabella said Trump's doctors initially told him that they would perform an MRI or a CT scan, and they ultimately decided to do the latter. Barbarella said the CT scan was done, quote, definitely rule out any cardiovascular issues and revealed no abnormalities. The White House declined to make Barbarella available for an interview. Okay. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that one. And again, there's going to be some sort of truth there. The way you would find is the person who actually did the scan, they will tell you, was it a scan, was it MRI, or whatever. So, and it's funny how they actually frame this as the doctor put out like a statement and then they don't let him interview. And that would actually be a pretty interesting interview. Tell us about Trump's health, right? White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt said the White House had often referred to the procedure as, quote, advanced imaging, and didn't address why the president hadn't corrected the record sooner. Delicate skin. The president has sought to conceal ailments that have led to speculation about his health. So we're talking about like the makeup and stuff, covering bruising his hands with makeup. In his first term, he played down the severity of these COVID-19 symptoms and declined to disclose that he got a colonoscopy. And for those of you who keep track of all the Trump stuff, there's a lot. I know about the hand stuff. I know about the ankle stuff. I know about the sleeping. And I'm curious what else is in here. I didn't know about the hearing one. That one was new to me. So if you guys heard that one, I didn't know about that one. His physical signs of aging are becoming more evident to some of his closest advisors. His skin is so delicate that Pam Bondi, now his attorney general, caused his hand to bleed when she nicked him with her ring while giving a high five at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. So I don't remember that one. That's interesting. So I guess his hand was bleeding. The president has often accused his predecessor of Joe Biden, who was 5 months younger than Trump, so basically the same age, when he took office, of hiding the extent of his health issues. Biden decided not to seek re-election following a damaging debate, which he stumbled over words and appearing to lose train of thought. And I said this about both guys. Both Biden and Trump are too old. I said it about both. I said it all the time. And now Trump is president. I say the same thing. They're both too old. Trump's too old. Biden's too old. Whatever, right? And I think it's hypocritical if you don't say literally they're both too old. So it is kind of ridiculous if Trump calls out Biden and then literally talking about himself here. But they're both too old. I want to make it really clear on that one, guys. Biden reinforced doubts about his fitness by avoiding unscripted exchanges and relied heavily on a few trusted aides who manages his schedule. Yeah, Biden was too old for sure. Trump has been almost omnipresent in his second term, fielding questions from journalists, sometimes several times a day, delivering impromptu remarks, and regularly hosting dinners at the White House. Trump veers from topic to topic in his lengthy public statements and sometimes makes factual errors, but this is Trump. And it's funny how they say sometimes make factual errors. You could just say blatantly lying, whatever, but yeah, something wrong with Trump. Anyone who watches it can see it. Barbarella said in a statement to the Journal that Trump is in, quote, exceptional health and perfectly suited to execute his duties as commander-in-chief. The White House provided the Journal with a summary of the Mayo Clinic AI-assisted analysis. Interesting. So I guess when you do an AI assistant thing, then no one necessarily has to put their name on it fully. Analysis of Trump. But to be fair, though, Barbarella did, his name is on the stuff. So that's why you'd actually want to interview this dude, but they're not making him available for interview. So I'm actually curious on that. So I guess the AI-assisted analysis of Trump's electrocardiogram that estimated the president's cardiac age to be that of a 65-year-old. That was from an AI said that, I guess. Quote, as a clinician, you look for clues in people, even if they're not your patient, and he is just with it on some fairly complex topics. And that's coming from Trump, one of Trump's dude, Mehmet Oz, a physician who serves as the administration of Centers for Medicare, medical as a Dr. Oz dude, right? So Dr. Oz likes him. I can't even think of a single time where he said something where I don't think he understands the issue here. It's coming from Oz. He may want you to do something that is, is arguably or whether is the right path to go, but it's a very rational approach to it. Okay. An impromptu phone interview. So this might be new here. that came after the journal shared details about its reporting with the White House. The president expressed irritation about the public debate over his health. Okay, so he doesn't like it when we talk about his health. So I guess that means if you don't want to tick off Trump, keep talking about his health. That's what he says right here in a phone interview. He has grown upset with his own White House staff for not promoting him as more vigorous. So he wants more commercials of him looking healthy and such, I guess. Quote, "Let's talk about health again for the 25th time," he said at the start of the interview. "My health is perfect," according to Trump, as he continues his, fast food diet and takes tons of aspirin. I didn't know about the aspirin thing. That one's new. I didn't know about that one. Trump said he has often begins his day early at the office in the White House residence before coming downstairs around 10 a.m. Okay. So, because you would know when he shows up publicly, like in the Oval Office, but then he would argue, no, I'm in my room working, right? And then I come down. So he's probably just either sleeping or watching Fox News, half asleep, and then he'll claim he's awake, right? And working the Oval Office until 7 or 8. Okay. The White House provided a private calendar for the first 19 days in December, which included hundreds of meetings and phone calls with staff, CEOs, lawmakers, and cabinet secretaries. Okay. So we know he's in the office. The White House claims he's in the office because I remember the New York Times reported differently. They were saying more like a 10 to 5 kind of thing. He said he had asked his staff to modify his schedule so he can have fewer, more important meetings. Okay. So he wants less meetings and he can devote more attention to a change he doesn't attribute to age, but to use his time more efficiently. Administration officials said they haven't pared down his meeting schedule. Okay. The Trump staff have encouraged him to slow his pace. Interesting. That's new. They urge him to spend roughly 2 weeks in South Florida around Christmas and New Year's Eve. So I think he's still in Florida now, to my understanding. Last time I checked, I think he's still there. According to our recommendation, he acted on. So that's why he was taking, things down there. Trump staff have also counseled him to try to keep his eyes open during public events. It's hilarious. Fearing the optics of his appearing to fall asleep, a person familiar with the matter. So he's having troubles hearing. He's like, "What's that? What's that? Keep your eyes open, Trump. What's that?" I mean, this is the president, dude. Isn't this crazy? Cameras caught him appearing to doze in December at a cabinet meeting and during a November announcement, reducing the cost of weight loss medication. Right. In mid-July, Trump went to see his doctors at Walter Reed, owing to what his physician described as, quote, mild swelling in his lower legs. So this is what they're saying is wrong with him. Okay. Ultrasounds of his veins showed that the president has, quote, chronic venous insufficiency, according to a memo, is a common condition among older people in which one-way valves inside the veins don't work properly, which makes it harder for blood to travel up the legs to the heart. So theoretically, maybe he feels better if he takes aspirin for that kind of condition. For those of you, because I know we have nurses and doctors in our community, I'd just like to hear your thoughts on that. I just make it clear I'm not a doctor, so no comment on that. Other than if Trump were serious about his health, listen to his doctors. But if you don't like the Trump, you just say ignore the doctor. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that one. In a statement to the Journal, Barbarella said the president's condition is, quote, superficial chronic venous insufficiency. So, okay, so they added the superficial part according to Barbarella guy, which involves a smaller veins in the body and doctors say is treatable. To help treat it, the president briefly wore compression socks, but the socks didn't stay on for long. Quote, I didn't like them. And I guess from our point of view, you don't need to wear them, Trump. You're good. Trump's aide said the swelling in his legs has improved. The president said he is getting up from his desk and walking around a bit more. Another common way to improve lower leg swelling. No, you can sit down, Trump. Just sit there and eat. I think that would be good. That's my opinion. You don't need exercise. Exercise is boring. I agree, Trump. Exercise is boring. You don't need it. But he is interested in exercise routine other than golf. I just don't like it. It's boring, talking about exercise, to walk on a treadmill or run on a treadmill for hours and hours like some people do. That's not for me. Trump takes Rosuvastatin and Izatimab to control his cholesterol, which would make sense with his diet. So he's got cholesterol issues, and uses mometasone cream to treat a skin condition, his doctor reported in April. Wow, we're getting a lot of details on this stuff. Barbarella's Trump physician said the president uses aspirin for, quote, cardiac prevention. Oh, they're worried about heart attack, possibly. I wonder if they're worried about heart attack with this dude, which would make sense. So, yeah, Yeah, that's okay. He said he takes 325 milligrams of aspirin a day. A low dose of aspirin is commonly 81 milligrams, according to the Mayo Clinic. So he's taking quite a lot. That's a lot then. They rather have me take the smaller one, Trump said. I take the larger one, but I've done it for years, and what it does do is cause bruising. Oh, interesting. Okay. Of the incident in which Bondi caused his hand to bleed, Trump said, the ring hit at the back of my hand, and yes, there was a slight cut. The cut alarmed some who witnessed the exchange, according to a person with knowledge of the episode. It is one of several instances in which his hand has been cut. Okay. And again, I ask people who are nurses and doctors, medical staff in our community, please share your thoughts on the stuff that we're going through. I want to hear from you guys. I just make it clear, guys, I'm not a doctor. I can read, but I'm not a doctor. So I want to make it clear. Trump said he applies makeup to his hands after he gets whacked again by someone. So I must be getting whacked a lot these days, I guess. I have makeup that's, easy to put on. Takes about 10 seconds. The president has difficulty sleeping well at night, so he can't sleep. He's got a lot of problems. And by his own account, is often texting and calling aides at 2 a.m. or later. So if you just imagine working for Trump, the dude has hearing problems. He calls you up at 2 a.m. He's like, yeah, I got a problem. And you're just like, okay, Mr. President, what are you talking about? I got a problem. Help me. Right? You know how this is going to be. It's going to be just like that. Several allies describe getting text messages from him after he catches up on Fox News appearances in the wee hours of the morning. I have never been a big sleeper, Trump said. He's sleeping. The dude, this is a terrible dude. It's a terrible lifestyle. Sleeping is a particular issue aboard Air Force One. Wow, we're getting more. Where Trump keeps his advisors awake, according to aides. Top staff take turns sitting with him on long trips. It's like a baby. This is totally like a baby. Top staff take turns sitting with him on long trips, rotating so that others can sleep while one person remains by his side. It literally is a baby. The president is known to poke fun at aides for falling asleep. Trump said he didn't fall asleep during the recent events at the White House. I'll just close. It's very relaxing to me, he said, in describing the shutting his eyes. Sometimes they'll take a picture of me blinking, and they'll catch me with the blink. So whacked out. Here's Oz. Oz was at the Oval Office presentation in November and said he believed Trump became bored. Susie Wiles, the White House chief of staff, and others have urged the cabinet members to shorten their presentations, according to administration officials. He can barely concentrate. He can't hear. He needs people to sit with him all the time. He gets bored. It's a child. Isn't it obvious? It's just obvious. And the MAGA people, they're going to look at this like, Chris, I can't read anyway. So, all you say is lies because I can't read. Okay, fine, whatever. But for those of you who want to hear the truth, this is what it is. This is crazy. When asked about his hearing, Trump grew sarcastic. I can't hear you. I can't hear a word you're saying. He's making a joke here. He said mockingly, the president said he only sometimes struggles to hear when there's a lot of people talking. So I wouldn't trust Trump on that one. At times, the president has had trouble hearing questions from reporters that others heard. During a dinner in September with heads of major technology companies, Trump took questions from the press and motioned with his hands for a reporter to speak up. The journalist asked if President planned to speak soon with Russian President Vladimir Putin. What? So, yeah, okay. You could take that a couple different ways. One is Trump just ignoring you, or can he legitimately can't hear you? So it all depends on the situation on that one, because I think Reagan would play those games as well. Then he leaned toward his wife, Melania, who repeated the question in her comments, captured it so in that situation you can't hear. Levitt said such incidents are rare, I'm sure. And there's a picture of Melania telling him what the dude said, right? Sure. So in that situation, yeah, he can't hear. Barbarella described the president's hearing as, quote, normal, and said the president in the statement that the journal that Trump doesn't require a hearing aid, doesn't require. So that's what Barbarella says. This Barbarella guy, I'll just say this. It says, I'd like to interview with him. That's all I say about that. Trump said he hasn't made changes to his diet. In a podcast interview in October, Republican National Committee Chairman Joe Gruters described being shocked by Trump's eating habits when they traveled together during the event. While flying to a campaign event, Trump consumed French fries, McDonald's Quarter Pounder, Big Mac, and fish fillet. So I guess I was wrong about the KFC. I guess he's more McDonald's dude. I always thought it was KFC. I don't know. I knew he liked McDonald's, but I just thought he was more KFC dude. Trump said he had plenty of energy, which he credited to his parents, who said they were energetic until their old age. Genetics are very important, he said, and I have very good genetics. So that's what's going on with Trumpers. I personally don't think he's going to make it to 4 years. And you literally heard all of the medical stuff going on with him. There's some new stuff in here. And again, I want to hear from doctors and nurses and other medical staff out there. What's your assessment of this? Do appreciate your time, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.